crazy for the Cowboys. Crazy way to end the season. But I mean, I've been saying it all year. This is a soft Cowboys team that was beating up on bad teams all year. How many teams they beat with a winning record? Like one, two, maybe.
Yeah, and I
They
remember
played
even early
mostly.
in the year when they
Yeah,
were winning games and you were like, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced. And I was like telling you, but like you play who you play on the schedule, it doesn't matter. And you're like, no, I just don't see it happening. I don't see them being a team that can win or make a deep playoff run. And I was a little bit skeptical because it's like eventually a team makes it over the hump. You get bucked a couple of times. Look at like LeBron James in the NBA. There was a talk consistently, you can't win the finals, you can't win a championship. And eventually you overcome that. So I mean, if you get enough at bats, of course you're going to hit one. And I just thought like, okay, maybe this is the year that they make a deep run. It just didn't happen.
but this is just who they are. Like year after year, they're gonna win a bunch of regular season games against bad teams. They're gonna compete in their division, and the fans are gonna say, "This is the year we win a Super Bowl." And then when it comes down to it, and the physicality turns up in the playoffs, and the schemes are a lot better, the defenses are a lot better, situations they weigh a lot heavier on the head coach and the decision making. That's when they start to fall apart because they shy away from the physicality. Mike McCarthy is probably the worst situational coach of all time, and Dak's just not that guy in the moment. I mean, how many times do we have to see them lose in the playoffs, and not just lose, they get embarrassed in the playoffs, like until we think like, okay, this team just doesn't got it. So I just didn't believe all year. Like, yeah, they are who I thought they were all season. Like they're just what everyone's calling the Dolphins, like pretenders, you know?
Yeah, and I was seeing that towards the end of the season. And I mean, I flipped it over because I was watching it and then I had to do something. So I ended up listening to the game and I could listen to the Packers broadcast or the Cowboys broadcast. I was like, I want to hear what Cowboys like broadcast is actually thinking. And they were giving it to them pretty harshly. Like they were like, they're like, I don't know if this is the most embarrassing loss in the playoffs, but it feels like the one of the most embarrassing losses in the playoffs. And something needs to change. Jerry Jones needs to do something about either Mike McCarthy or Dak Prescott or both.
When you
And
have when you have your fans trying to say we need to put Trey Lance out there in a playoff game, it
he's not even the backup.
it's bad. It's real bad. You're fishing for hope out there. Like you're not gonna find it with your third string quarterback. There's a reason he hasn't taken over the backup job, and it was just a pretty sad sight to see Cowboys fans clamoring like, why don't we put Trey Lance out there? Like that's gonna actually change the game.
And I mean, let's kind of talk about it a little bit. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think a move is going to be made at quarterback or at head coach?
I mean, you can't go off Dak. I don't know what his contract's looking like, but
I think he has like 1 year left.
I mean, I don't think Trey Lance is the option if he hasn't impressed enough to for you to feel comfortable as your backup going forward. Then I just don't see him progressing that fast in where he left off when we last seen him to take over and be better than Dak. I mean, Dak's not a terrible quarterback. He's not a bad quarterback. I mean, look at he was in MVP race all season. So I don't think you can move off him without having a better option in place. However, Mike McCarthy, like, how could you watch that game and think, yeah, we want to see more Mike McCarthy here? Like, it's just getting ridiculous. They should have even lost the Lions game because he
Yeah.
had stupid situational decisions. Like, he just does not work good in the fourth quarter at the end of games. And I mean, this past game against the Packers, he didn't look good the whole game. So I think they can definitely improve there. I mean, there's talks that Belichick could be going there. I don't know if I see that. Him feels like two alphas getting in room, him and Jerry Jones, but they got to do something there. And I know players were already riding for him, saying that they wanted McCarthy back, but how can you defend him at this point?
Yeah, man. But players are coming out. Jenny Slate reported that multiple Cowboys players have come out and defended Mike McCarthy, saying that he's their guy. If he's not there, I don't want to be there. I know Dak actually said it at the podium. If Mike McCarthy isn't here, maybe I won't be here. And fans are like, good. But I don't know, dude. Jerry Jones, that's the one thing like this, a wild card in this situation is Jerry Jones and his age. He's so old. Whereas before he was content to, hey, let's let it ride. Jason Garrett got years on his contract when everyone was like, we got to fire him. We got to get rid of him. We can do better. But Jason Garrett got years, more years than people were expected. I think it depends on how Jerry feels. If Jerry's like gonna be same old Jerry, he's gonna stick with Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott.
Yeah, that's the real question is when Jerry gets, I mean, Jerry's up there in age, but when he gets a little bit higher, like where you start, like, I don't know how much longer, Jerry got to be in this position and be
He's right
making
there right
decisions.
now.
Yeah, but does he start to feel like, okay, we're close. I need to make as much moves as possible to make this Super Bowl happen? Because that's what he wants. He wants to see one more Super Bowl win, like before he's gone. And that's understandable because if you look at this team on paper, they're close. Like they almost got the 1 seed. They have a quarterback. They have defensive stars. Like they should be on the cusp, and it feels like they're very far. They're getting farther away.